And now, 3 Minute Modernist. What led you to the museum life?
Well, Chris, that's a long story, but I'll try to make it short. One thing is, there were a few things I thought I could be doing that didn't work out.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, I find myself in a position where I could mediate between the worlds of art and film and television and the performing arts and literature and theory. And it seemed to be such a good fit for me. I enjoyed myself so much. The public response was great. I thought, well, that might actually be a career. So a curator in many ways is someone who decided or found out that he or she is not an art historian, is not an academic, is not an artist, for one, if we talk about museum curators, but that they love to relate to all those fields at the same time and to be in direct touch with art and the public. And then, of course, you just love spending time with art in space and with people in space. So the fact that I'm talking to you is part of why I love this job. I just love talking about art.
That's exactly the same reason I became a curator for so long. And so, uh, did you have the museum moment when you were younger where it was like, it was the moment that happened, the one museum that did it for you?
That is true. Yeah, I've rarely talked about it. This is going back a long time, but it was actually in the U.S. I was born. I am German. I was born in Germany, and I lived most of my life in Germany. I only came to the U.S. about 15 years ago to take up this job at SF MoMA, but I traveled a lot in the US, and my very first travel coming out of a provincial city in Germany, I was standing in front of a painting at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, and I was 19, and I had never been to such an amazing museum in my life. And I saw this painting that today you would say had immersive qualities. It pulled you in. The longer you looked, the more you could see and identify. And it was a very dramatic post-war painting by a Russian artist called Chelychev. I don't remember the title, but it's one of the classics in MoMA's collection. And you see bodies and bodies and bodies intertwined, and it's an endless loop of sorts. And I was stunned. That said, it still took me 10 years after that to sort of really make a move and a push towards the arts. So in the meantime, I studied literature.